So you have the 2015 annotated event for astronomy listed under the event supervisor section for National Science Olympiad. There are going to be some astronomy state and regional tests are going to be posted on the National Science Olympiad website. We are putting together a sample state event, a sample regional event. Those are going to be posted with answer keys in plenty of time for teams to use those to prepare for national competition and for you to use as an idea of how to develop your event, which should be very similar to what we're doing. If you're running a state event, maybe not quite so long or quite so difficult. And besides those, we are also going to be posting some invitationals. Now, invitationals have become quite common. There are more and more all the time. Invitationals they're all over the country. If you go to the National Science Olympiad website, you'll see a list of all the invitationals that have been posted so far. Some of them that we are involved in, Tad and I run the MIT Invitational, and this year we're also going to be running the astronomy event for the brand new first year Stanford Berkeley Invitational. I'm also involved with the Reach for the Stars Invitational for Georgia, writing the event, not running it, just writing it. Once these invitationals are over, and we have to be careful, last year we, for instance, did an invitational one for state of New York, but if you look at the teams that travel to these invitationals, it's actually quite amazing. There are several teams that travel all over the country for 2 or 3 or 4, even 5 invitationals to help them prepare. Now, there might be an invitational near you that you could go to, and you could either run an event there or offer to run an event there if you're knowledgeable in astronomy, because astronomy has a hard time finding event supervisors that are knowledgeable enough or comfortable enough with the content to write the event. And I'm hoping that all these resources will be helpful for you. If there are any other resources you can possibly think of that we can put together, because now with the new astrophysics universe of learning, from NASA through Chandra through Science Olympiad, we have now the time to put together more and more resources that are helpful for event supervisors and teams to help elevate the level of competition for the same for everybody. We want you to be able to have a really good invitational to use, even if you don't live close enough to an invitational that you have the finances to afford to go to. So let us know if there's anything you can think of in addition that we can do. The beginning of March is when the invitationals will be probably posted, and we have to wait until the invitationals are over because we do not want to write an invitational for one state and have a team from a different state travel to do that invitational and then travel to a state and they've got the same invitational that they had at the last one, and therefore they have an edge on the competition. So we have to be very, very careful about when we release these things. So let us know. So you have the Science Olympiad website, the homepage, and then it has the store where you can buy the test packets. It has the menu for event supervisors, for teams, for content, for events. It's all there. The coach's manual is there that I wrote for astronomy, still perfectly acceptable, the same information, basic information. I cannot remember, I think it's $16, I'm not exactly sure. That is still there and available for purchase if you do not own that yet. So all of those things are on the National Science Olympiad website. So what you should do if you are an event supervisor and you're going to write a state event or an invitational event or a regional event and you're not quite sure what they look like or how to do it, you can first read the event description for the content, the allowable resources, use the webinars and the PowerPoints that are posted on the National Science Olympiad website and the Chandra X-ray Observatory website so that you'll have a good idea of the content and the deep sky objects. Access the NSO, National Science Olympiad Event Supervisor website for information. If you're new to this process, totally new, it will give you the general rules, the code of ethics, scoring policies, and all of that. Check for any nearby Science Olympiad workshops or clinics. There are several clinics and workshops that are run around the country for event supervisors, not for teams, for event supervisors. And for coaches of teams. Science Olympiad has their summer one in Phoenix, the SOCI, the Science Olympiad Summer Institute. I am going to be presenting at the Naperville Great Lakes Coaches Clinic in Naperville, Illinois at the end of October. So you might be able to find one that's fairly close to you, and the larger clinics, the clinics that have the energy and the time and the resources and the people usually have most of their presenters are National Science Olympiad event supervisors. So you get a really rich experience by going to one of those workshops or coaches clinics. Use the annotated sample to get just reading through the annotated section gives you an idea of the thought processes that go into the developing of the questions and how it's constructed. And then use any prior astronomy events, as I said, the test packet for 2016, and then there is also Science Olympiad on the test packets from previous years. We did the exoplanets for 2 years. But before that, it was stellar evolution, very similar. We have had competitions before that were stellar evolution and type 1a supernova events. So the deep sky objects, some of them will be different, but that will give you a really great idea of how to construct your own event. So I hope this has been kind of helpful just to give you a brief overview of the procedures, a guide for event state directors of what kind of space is needed, the host sites that are hosting the competitions, those coordinators to know what kind of rooms that they should be providing for event supervisors and to accommodate the logistics of each individual event. And hopefully for you event supervisors out there, it will give you some insight into how to develop a really good event on your own. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact either myself or Tad, my co-event supervisor. And I especially want to thank all of you. We all know this is a volunteer organization, National Science Olympiad. It's an incredible competition. It's an incredible set of materials that are used for schools. It's even used for their STEM outreach initiative in schools, whether they're actually competing or not. So I want to thank all of you because you are volunteers. You donate your time and your energy for the only compensation you have is watching the teams compete and have a glorious day, especially those who get to walk up on stage and get an award. So thank you so much. The organization would not be where it is now if it wasn't for you. So thank you very much, and let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. Thank you.